Today we're going to be taking a look at AppOmni's SaaS security platform. Now, your business uses a ton of different SaaS applications like Salesforce, Workday, ServiceNow, etc. And you as a security professional might be wondering, how can I bring security to these applications? Over the next 5 minutes, I'll show you how to do just that using AppOmni. Now, the very first place to start in our application is by adding a SaaS app that you'd like to protect. And you do that by going to this Monitor Services section. Now, when I search for an application, I can look through all of these different supported integrations right here, or I can type in a name like Salesforce. And when I go to one of these tiles, we have the embedded instructions ready to go. If you have just a couple of minutes and the right level of access into the SaaS platform, you'll be able to add it into AppOmni in no time at all. Once you've added an application into AppOmni, in this case, like a Salesforce, the next step is to check for any type of configuration drift from recommendations with a security expert. And where you would do that would be within the policy section of our product. Now, a policy is a group of checks or rules that will follow a specific theme. In this case, with Salesforce, we have baseline security recommendations or policies that will follow a compliance framework or a standard. Now, we have these for all of these different application integrations that we support. If I were to apply a policy, what that would look like here, I can choose how often the policy is scanning. So I could say every 72 hours, every 24 hours, etc. I can choose what environments the policy is scanning exactly for that particular service. So in this case, development, staging, production for Salesforce. And then I can choose the different rules or the configuration settings that AppOmni is scanning for. I can modify any of these that I've downloaded from the policy library, or I can add my own custom rule by hitting this add rule button right here. And then once we do find something, we would generate an issue that you can easily connect into an external system like a ServiceNow or a Jira. Now, what about those questions you might not have known to ask? Well, that's why we have the Insight section of our product. An insight is a potential security risk identified by our team. Now, I like to think about it like a SaaS security expert sitting over your shoulder saying, hey, maybe you should take a look at that. So as an example, we have data records exposed to the anonymous world in Salesforce, and we highlight where we're seeing those records in the different environments, production, UAT, development. And then we even give you an overview of what that insight is. So the background, the potential risk, and then the remediation steps that you can pass over to the application team to fix this. Let's say you want to learn a little bit more about the SaaS application. Maybe you haven't seen Salesforce before. Well, there's a couple of tools to do just that. We can show you how Salesforce is configured and what applications are actually installed inside of a Salesforce. Now, the first area to point you to would be Posture Explorer. Now, for any application connected into AppOmni, what we're able to show you are the current configuration values, and then also a little bit of detail about the role-based access control in that application. In this example, we're seeing all the different system settings within Salesforce and the currently configured values. Let's say that I just went through a security audit, and this is exactly how I want this environment. I can take all of these settings and convert it to an AppOmni policy that we talked about before. And then, of course, I can also see the user accounts, what level of access they have, and when the last time was they logged into their account. So let's say that I wanted to learn a little bit more about the environment. What applications have access to my SaaS estate? That's where AppOmni has the app ecosystem. What we'll do here is we'll highlight the different applications that have been installed and show you whether your team has had a chance to approve them or if they're unapproved. We'll highlight applications that are vulnerable, that have a news article associated to them, and also show you scopes and permissions that that application has as they access one of your primary SaaS apps. In this case, this application has the ability to read contents and write deployments within GitHub. What we've been talking about so far is related to the configuration of these different SaaS applications. But what about the events that take place inside of the SaaS app? How can we get a little bit more detail into that? Well, that's where AppOmni has its threat detection capability. Now, we do two different things here. The first thing that we handle is that we can take all of these different events and we pass it through our detection engine. So we have these detection rules that are out of the box, over 100, that include rules that will incorporate user behavior analytics. So if I wanted to understand, as an example, unusual admin activity from an anomalous location in Salesforce, that's something AppOmni would be able to highlight. We show you the detection logic right here. We map this to the MITRE attack framework, then also provide triage questions to ask if you see something like this pop up. And the second thing we'll do is we'll take these detection alerts right here as an example. Any event that AppOmni has, we will normalize into the AppOmni common event schema. So where is this useful? We can take this information in a formatted way and send it downstream to a SIEM. So as an example, like a Splunk, a Sumo Logic, a Datadog, a Google Chronicle. And that way, a log from M365 looks like a log from Salesforce, looks like a log from ServiceNow. So it makes it a lot easier to work with from a detection engineering standpoint. We've seen quite a bit inside of AppOmni so far, but how do we get a visual on all of this? Well, that's where we have this dashboard section of our product. So we give you some trending information on those insights that we talked about before, those questions that you might not have known to ask, those open issues that would be generated from policy scans, and then alerts that happen with our threat detection piece of the product. We also give you posture scoring for all the different monitored services that exist in the environment. And we even track compliance frameworks and how you're trending against being compliant. In this example, with our compliance dashboard, we can show the monitored frameworks and what percentage compliance you're trending to against that particular framework. With AppOmni, you can take control of your SaaS security, ensure compliance, and gain peace of mind knowing your critical applications are protected. Ready to see how AppOmni can transform your security strategy? Visit our website to learn more and schedule a personalized demo.